Let's talk about another key piece in this filing that was put out there this week before the trial's about to begin. The defense wanting to call Kegan Kline to the stand to refresh your memory on who Kegan Kline is. Even before Richard Allen was arrested and charged with the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German, they were looking at Kegan Kline, and for good reason too. He was online under the name Anthony Shots on social media, luring in young girls under a false persona. Klein contacted numerous underage girls and then manipulated them into sending him sexually explicit images and video. He's been sentenced to 43 years in prison after pleading guilty to 25 felony counts there. There's also allegations that he was supposed to meet with one of the girls the very day of the disappearance. Gee, that's not suspicious at all. Gee, maybe we should look at him a little bit more. Not the CVS worker, but of course, that all went to hell. But they're requesting that him as a witness in this trial. What do you make of this? How do you think Judge Gull is going to handle this? Because this actually could be a pretty good defense to introduce reasonable doubt for Richard Allen.
Yeah, it can. And to be honest with you, I thought that Klein was on the list of can't do's. Like
Mhm.
I know that like in the state's motion in limine to ace the Odins and all the Odin talk and all of the ritualistic murder talk and all of those five individuals that they had named. I thought Ron Logan and Kegan Klein were included in
I
that
did
list.
too. Yeah.
But I think what may have happened is that there was there for the state's forensic phone guy was doing one final uh updated Cellubrite extraction on Libby's phone, which the last time that we were in the hearings back in August for that 3 days of hearings,
Mhm.
I think it was the end of July, early August, he had stated that I'm hoping to get this report to the defense by, I think it was like August 13th. And maybe, just maybe, they found something in those reports that is a connection between Klein and this, or that Anthony Shots account and Libby's phone, which certainly would be a nexus. That
Yeah.
that would be something that there's. I don't know how Gull would keep that out, because if that's not a nexus to the crime, I don't know what is. If they found communications between him drawing the girls up to the bridge that day, um, that would be pretty smoking gun evidence, and that certainly would qualify as a nexus to the homicide.
I would think that
So
would change the whole case.
yeah,
If we find that he was, yeah, luring them out there that day. He says, "I never intended to do anything or meet with them. I was just, yeah." I mean, tell that to everybody that Chris Hansen meets. You know, it's,
well, Tony, at the hearing, it was kind of mind blowing because they went pretty in depth in decline at their third party
yeah,
culprit hearing, very in depth, to the extent where it came out that Klein had basically sold his old man Tony Klein, like sold him out
mhm,
completely. And he had said that they had driven a red Jeep down to the bridge, that his father got out of the vehicle, was gone for a couple of hours, and came back and he was muddy and bloody. And that they then drove over the bridge, and that's when they tossed the knife and the cell phone into the Wabash River, which ultimately law enforcement thought enough of it to drag that river.
yeah,
So, but what came out also that at that hearing is that law enforcement said that they went to the cameras that they knew were in the area, the same ones that have seen vehicles coming and going, and that they were never able to place that red Jeep coming or going. The defense brought up, well, there's ways into Logan's property through the cemetery that wouldn't be caught on camera.
mhm,
So I mean, they're obviously going for it,
yeah,
and if they have that phone connection, if they have that data from the phone that puts them anywhere in terms of contacting Libby and drawing them out to the bridge that day, it's very interesting
yeah.
because the state came back during that hearing and said, look, well, both their phones were at the residence. So, but who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, what about burners, man? It's like that means nothing. They could have had their phones because they're not idiots. They left those at the house
Yeah.
and they're operating with burners, or they don't bring their phones,
Yeah.
which is, you know, if you're going to be committing heinous crimes, it's advisable not to bring your cellular device with you because
Yeah.
it's literally you're on the grid. It's a
Yeah.
tracking device. It's going to, you know, you're caught.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be really interesting. There's going to be a lot of stuff. Like this is not going to be a defense where they're just going to rest.
Yeah.
They are going to be putting a lot of evidence on, and it's going to be really interesting.
Have come this far. Hopefully, they can get their case out there, and the
Yep.
jury can hear
At
it.
least some semblance of it. I mean,
Yeah.
look, they're going to attack the timeline.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. They're going to attack the investigation. There's no question about that. And they're going to try as much as they can to get as much reasonable doubt in there by pointing the finger at other people as much as Gull will let them get in.
Yeah.
You know, so it'll be a heck of a trial, and then you've got to balance that against there's going to be this war on these confessions that's going on. And I don't know if you saw it because you were probably working all morning, but the most recent motion that came out today was a motion where they were asking the court to certify Monica Walla, who was the prison psychologist or
Mhm.
psychiatrist that was treating Richard Allen back when he was uh, in Westville, the
Mhm.
first prison he was at, and who was the doctor who was treating him when he was going through that psychotic break, when he
Yeah.
was eating his own feces and
Yeah.
running into the cinder brick wall with his head and made all these confessions during this 3 month period of time.
Yeah.
She was the doctor. Apparently, after that hearing, when she testified, unbeknownst to the defense, she lost her job, which doesn't surprise me based on some of her answers
Mhm.
on the stand that day. But apparently, she actually lives in Cook County, and that makes her an out of state witness. They believe that the information that she has is material. So they're asking the judge to certify her as a material witness,
Mhm.
making it easier for them to be able to issue those out of state subpoenas and haul her back to court in Indiana.
Yeah.
So that was filed today. So it's got all the earmarks for a real war in there, man.
Yeah. It's going to be super fascinating to watch. You're going to be in the courtroom fighting people in the morning. No, I'm taking that seat. Fight a valiant fight, my friend. I can't
I
wait
shall.
to hear
I
it.
shall.
All right, Bob Mata, defense attorney, podcast Defense Diaries, and we'll hear more from you all week from the courtroom. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Bruschi, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.